April 12th, 2023, 1200 hours. Little did I know that this would be my last meal. Hey there, I'm Quentin. I watched a YouTube short of this guy who didn't eat for 7 days, and I originally thought, damn, that was stupid. Turns out, dropping the plate can actually be pretty good for you. So I decided I'll do it myself. So I started at 12 o'clock on April 13th at 194.8 pounds. This is me debating why I'm doing this. And this is my girlfriend trying to teach me how to vlog.
I'm about to do a fast. And I'm not excited about it.
Clearly she's a natural.
I'm so excited because I get his chicken, I get his cheese, I get to eat all the delicious things. I'm going to have an avocado toast. That's good.
The next morning, first thing I woke up to was avocado toast right downstairs. And I know you heard that crunch.
Can't have any. Just go because you're torturing yourself.
To take my mind off things, I decided to go to the range with my buddy and shank a couple golf balls. But first, I have to show you guys what I look like before the 7 days of water fasting. So after about 12 to 18 hours, your body starts running low on glucose and glycogen. Glucose is just the sugar that is made from the digestion of the food you eat, and glycogen is just the storage of carbohydrates in your body tissues. And when your body runs out of glucose from the food you've been eating, it starts getting the glycogen that was storing carbohydrates, and the process of breaking that down creates more glucose. And after about 12 to 18 hours, you start to run low on glucose and glycogen. So your body actually starts to dip into digesting fat instead of glucose because you're running out of energy. The byproduct of digesting fat is ketones, and ketones is going to be the replacement of glucose. People who do keto usually have smelly breath because the ketones are being expelled through your breath and they don't really smell that good. So, believe it or not, in layman's terms, you're actually breathing away your fat. I thought that was pretty cool. On to the next subject. Well, those fucking sucked. So while Luke attempts to teach me how to hit a fucking golf ball, I'm going to attempt to tell you what happens after 24 hours of not eating any food at all. So after about 24 hours, your body has no glucose left, and you are now mainly running off of fat as fuel. 1 pound of fat is equal to 3,500 calories, and I burn about 3,000 calories a day. So every day I'm burning from 0.8 to 0.9 pounds of fat. Autophagy has now started to begin in your body, but we'll get on that later on. At this point, you're probably feeling some cravings for some pizza or chicken or whatever junk food that can come to mind. And I want to touch a little bit on ghrelin. Ghrelin is a gut hormone that triggers your receptor GHS-R. Not that you give a fuck, but I'm just reading the definition. This hormone is to thank for all the cravings that you have for all the food, which at 24 hours is probably spiking extremely high. And this is going to bring us to Quentin's heck water fasting myth number 1, that fasting puts you into starvation mode. Well, it turns out that's completely false. Like I said, those cravings you're feeling is just an addiction and a hormone that's being released. It's super important to understand that this hormone and hunger comes in waves. So when you feel that craving, go chug a glass of water, fill your stomach up with some H2O, and fight past that craving because eventually it will subside. Your mind will move on to something else, and the ghrelin will go away. Now let's watch as I absolutely shank this fucking golf ball. Don't worry, I fucking killed that ball. So anyway, I got home and I had the only meal that I could possibly have that didn't taste like water, black coffee. While my girlfriend, on the other hand, chewed on Legos. And I finished the day at 193.2 pounds. So far, I have lost 1.6 pounds. So on to the next morning, I lost 189 pounds. This is what I look like. Again, super awkward. And I came downstairs and again, had a cup of black coffee and some table salt. Then I took my girlfriend to get some coffee so that way she didn't bite my head off for the day.
It's actually really good. Try it.
No, I can't.
Oh, shit.
And of course, she forgot that I couldn't try it. Now, I'm going to tell you what happens between the hours of 48 and 60 after you stop eating food. At this point, it brings us on to myth number 2. You lose muscle during a water fast. Your HGH levels after 48 to 60 hours have at least gone up by 5 times, and that's because your body knows that it needs to maintain muscle over fat. Your insulin levels have also dropped to an all-time low, so it's important to recognize that if you decide to break your fast now, break it easily, because if you don't, you're going to upset your stomach, and you might actually suffer from refeed syndrome, which again we'll talk about later after the fast. I also want to emphasize the point that your body is actually made to burn fat as energy, and a lot of people think that they're not going to feel too good after eating, and that's because originally what happens is they go through the keto flu. Back in the caveman days, your body needed to be optimal, primed, and ready to hunt even after not eating for 4 days, which relates back to why we produce so much HGH, because we need our bodies ready to go on the hunt. We used to switch over to this process all the time. We would hunt, get a kill, eat a massive quantity of meat, and then we could go 4 to 7 days without getting another hunt again, at which our body would switch over from burning glucose to burning the fat that we stored from the previous meal. But according to the American diet, we have to eat 3 meals a day. We actually never switch over to burning fat as fuel. Our body isn't really used to switching over to fat as an energy source. So switching over completely to burning nothing but fat for energy, well, that can be a stressful process. And what happens is we actually have flu-like symptoms, headaches, tiredness, dizziness, all these other symptoms while your body switches over. But stick it out, because after the keto flu is when you enter something that I like to call God mode. For the next couple hours, I spent my time looking for a poncho hoodie. I don't know why, but I obsessed over it, and stomach's starting to feel a little empty. Head's starting to get a little groggy, but hopefully soon I'll be in full keto mode, running in God mode. Please tell me you like the poncho. So for some reason this night I lost a bunch of weight. Now this was after I went to the restroom in the morning, but I went to bed at like 193 and woke up at 187. Don't really know how that works, but whatever. Here's my outfit for the day. Let me know if you like it.
Getting it right now.
And you know the drill. Coffee, water, salt. The standard American diet for someone who's not eating. So I decided to read a little bit while she watched a video of how to be a YouTuber. Apparently I'm not good enough for her, so she had to watch somebody else. And then for the rest of the day, I did some editing, made some shorts from the podcast, and this duck freaked me the fuck out for some reason. You guys are probably wondering, how exactly am I feeling at this point? And to be honest, I actually feel pretty good. I started using the restroom 3 to 4 times a day, which is hard to believe because there's nothing in your stomach to really get rid of. I just told myself that it was my body getting rid of toxins, and let's just say it wasn't pleasant. I didn't want to run out of vitamins and minerals. Eventually I went and I got some 0-calorie vitamin packets just to make sure that even though I'm not consuming calories, I'm still getting my micronutrients. But other than that, I was actually feeling pretty good. I've done fasts like this before, so I didn't have too much of a keto flu. The only issue that I have is when a significant other of mine decides to bring some delicious food around, and like I said, I get one of those cravings.
Barbecue chicken. You're making me.
All jokes aside, the hardest part of this is going to be when your friends go on with their normal lives and they eat and they drink like they normally would, and you can't, and you have to order a water. So we went to Whole Foods, we went out to a nice brewery, and we played this weird-ass game.
Dude, I'm getting blood filler.
Great. Then we had a movie night where I was so hungry, I decided to make a grocery list for when I can go grocery shopping. And then finally, I finished the night at 189 pounds. I spent this day just editing the podcast, so I just want to go over what happens after 3.5, 4 days of not eating food. So after 3.5 days, your body is now completely rid of any glucose or glycogen, and your body is now removing trapped toxins and fixing old cancerous cells through a process called autophagy. Autophagy is a process influenced by your microbiome by which a cell breaks down and destroys old, damaged, or abnormal proteins and other substances in the cytoplasm of the cell. Basically, what autophagy does is it goes through the body and destroys anything that is bad, harmful, or broken in the body. Autophagy is influenced by your microbiome. Your microbiome is the bacteria in your gut that breaks down food and aids in the autophagy process. It breaks down food and manages immune systems while healing body of diseases. Myth number 3, your stomach is only meant to break down food. And this is so far from the truth, and I can't believe that most people don't know this, but your microbiome lives in your gut or your stomach. So although your stomach is meant to break down food and aid in the digestive process, another big thing that it's supposed to do is actually heal your body through autophagy, which, like I said earlier, our body never really does that because we're always eating. Therefore, for your entire life, if you just continue to eat and your stomach never has a chance to take a break and do its other job, you actually never heal your body of the toxins and shit that's in it. If you actually do a 7-day water fast every year, studies show that you minimize your risk of cancer by 87%. I've linked all the resources down below just so you can go look for yourself, and I'm not just some random guy spewing bullshit on YouTube. So lastly, I'm just going to speed through the days here, but by this point, you're completely out of keto flu, and I just absolutely feel amazing. Like I mentioned before, I like to call this God mode. But not only is my body in full autophagy, but I have completely stopped thinking about food. I get a craving here and there, but at this point I've mastered not succumbing to the ghrelin and tell my body that, hey, I'm not eating. Fat is actually a great fuel source for your body, and your body actually runs optimally on this fuel source, which is why I have such mental clarity and so much energy in the morning, and why I'm not even hungry anymore. So for these last couple days, I really was just operating in God mode, while my body just spent the time healing. And this is where I want to go over the last myth, number 4. If you don't eat, you become dizzy and have headaches. Dizziness and headaches from not eating is a lack of nutrients in your stored fat. For example, if you were to gain fat off of fruits, veggies, and proteins and things with rich nutrients, when you go to burn that fuel source or that fat, you won't have any headaches or dizziness because you have nutrients. But when you have McDonald's and Wendy's and other shit stored as fat, when you go to burn that, there's still no nutrients in it.
Tastes like water.
So to avoid headaches and dizziness, if you actually take table salt, like I've been taking for the past couple days, and some mineral packets, your body won't have any headaches or dizziness because it'll have the minerals that it needs to operate. I'm also going to link the packets down below just in case you want to do this one day. Now it's time to see the difference in 7 days of not eating food. I started at 194.8 pounds and finished at 181 pounds for a whopping 13 total pounds lost. I started looking like this and I ended looking like this. If you do a fast longer than 48 to 60 hours, you need to make sure that you ease back into eating food. This is potentially the most dangerous part of not eating food and the part where you can actually die. If you don't, you're going to suffer from Refeeding Syndrome. Please take it slow with some bone broth, then maybe a soup, then a smoothie, then some raw fruits and veggies, and then start introducing some meat. Also, you'll notice how your taste buds have changed once you start eating these foods and how much appreciation you have for good food. Do your own research. Try it yourself. Thank you for sticking along and watching my journey, and hopefully you learned at least a little something. That's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed.
Sometimes I like to hike up mountains just to see how crazy small we are in this world. So how the fuck are you still bitching?